Daily Dose of English presents Daily English Idioms. Part 54.
In seventh heaven. Meaning: a state of extreme happiness or contentment. Examples: she was in seventh heaven when she got the job. When he saw his newborn baby, he was in seventh heaven. She was in seventh heaven when she won the lottery. Sail close to the wind. Meaning: to take risks, especially in a business or political context. Examples: he was sailing close to the wind with his risky investments. The company was sailing close to the wind with their new venture. The politician was sailing close to the wind with his controversial policies. Sea legs. Meaning: the ability to maintain balance and composure while on a boat or ship. Examples: it took me a few days to get my sea legs. The sailors had strong sea legs after months at sea. It took me a while to get my sea legs and not feel seasick. A load of baloney. Meaning: an expression used to describe something as untrue or ridiculous. Examples: his story was a load of baloney. Her excuses were a load of baloney. His excuses were a load of baloney, and I didn't believe a word he said. Shape up or ship out. Meaning: a phrase used to tell someone to improve their behavior or face the consequences. Examples: I told the employees to shape up or ship out. The teacher told the students to shape up or ship out. If you don't shape up or ship out, you're going to be fired. Kick yourself. Meaning: to regret an action or decision. Examples: I kicked myself for not getting tickets before they sold out. He kicked himself for not taking the job when it was offered. She kicked herself for not following her gut instinct. All shapes and sizes. Meaning: an expression used to describe something that includes a wide variety of sizes, types, or varieties. Examples: the store had clothes in all shapes and sizes. The park was filled with people of all shapes and sizes. The classroom was filled with students of all shapes and sizes. Time-honored practice. Meaning: a traditional practice or custom that has been around for a long time. Examples: it was a time-honored practice to give a gift at weddings. The ceremony was a time-honored practice that had been passed down for generations. In many cultures, it is a time-honored practice to honor one's elders. Vested interest. Meaning: a strong or personal involvement in something. Examples: he had a vested interest in the company's success. She had a vested interest in the success of the project. The investors had a vested interest in the outcome of the vote. Bodice ripper. Meaning: a type of romantic novel with a lot of sexual content. Examples: she was reading a bodice ripper on the beach. The library was full of bodice rippers. The bookstore had a whole section of bodice rippers. Browned off. Meaning: An informal expression used to describe someone who is angry, annoyed, or fed up. Examples: I'm getting really browned off with this situation. He was browned off when he didn't get the promotion. She was browned off when she didn't get the job. Live on the edge. Meaning: to take risks or to live life to its fullest. Examples: he was always living on the edge. She was living on the edge and taking risks. They were living on the edge and pushing the boundaries. Get/take flack. Meaning: to receive criticism or negative feedback. Examples: he was taking a lot of flack for his decision. She was getting a lot of flack from her coworkers. The company was taking a lot of flack for their new policy. Friends in high places. Meaning: an expression used to describe someone who has powerful or influential friends. Examples: he had friends in high places who could help him get the job. She had friends in high places who could help her get into the school. He had friends in high places who could open doors for him. Out of sorts. Meaning: an expression used to describe someone who is feeling unwell or out of sorts. Examples: I've been out of sorts all week. She was feeling out of sorts after her surgery. He was out of sorts and couldn't concentrate on his work. That makes my blood boil. Meaning: an expression used to describe one's anger or frustration. Examples: that makes my blood boil. How could they do this? Seeing his lies makes my blood boil. That kind of behavior makes my blood boil. In broad daylight. Meaning: an expression used to describe something that is done in public, often in a shocking or blatant manner. Examples: he was robbed in broad daylight. She was attacked in broad daylight. It happened in broad daylight and no one did anything to help. Run-of-the-mill. Meaning: an expression used to describe something that is average or typical. Examples: it was a run-of-the-mill movie. The restaurant was run-of-the-mill. The food was run-of-the-mill and nothing special. Swishing party. Meaning: a type of party where guests bring old clothes and swap them. Examples: we had a swishing party and everyone brought clothes to swap. She went to a swishing party and found some great new clothes. We had a swishing party and exchanged clothes we no longer wanted. On one's last legs. Meaning: an expression used to describe something that is in a state of disrepair or is close to breaking down. Examples: the car was on its last legs and needed to be replaced. The computer was on its last legs and needed to be repaired. His phone was on its last legs and needed to be replaced. Harp on. Meaning: to keep bringing up a subject, often in an annoying or tiresome manner. Examples: he kept harping on about his problems. She kept harping on about the same thing. He was always harping on about his successes. Price yourself out of the market. Meaning: an expression used to describe someone who charges too much for their services or products. Examples: he priced himself out of the market with his high prices. She priced herself out of the market and lost business. He priced himself out of the market and had to lower his prices. A slip of the tongue. Meaning: an expression used to describe an accidental mistake or error. Examples: it was just a slip of the tongue. He made a slip of the tongue and everyone laughed. She made a slip of the tongue and had to apologize. En vino veritas. Meaning: an expression used to describe the idea that people are more likely to tell the truth when they are under the influence of alcohol. Examples: en vino veritas, so I asked him what he really thought. She was more open after a few drinks, so I knew it was en vino veritas. He was more honest after a few drinks, so I knew it was en vino veritas. Today's idioms were: in seventh heaven, sail close to the wind, sea legs, load of baloney, shape up or ship out, kick yourself, all shapes and sizes, time-honored practice, vested interest, bodice ripper, browned off, live on the edge, get/take flack, friends in high places, out of sorts, that make my blood boil, in broad daylight, run of the mill, swishing party, on one's last legs, harp on, price yourself out of the market, a slip of the tongue, en vino veritas.